Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey, two diehard baseball fans who don't agree on anything. Which side will you choose?
Welcome
This
to The Divide.
is The Divide
With Mike and Corey.
That's your boy Todd Frazier.
Hey guys, I'm Julie Thorbanks.
Hey, what's up? This is Cliff Floyd. You can catch me on The Divide.
You can catch me on The Divide on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do. This is The Divide.
And here we are, everybody. Welcome to The Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 Philly, 104.1 Trenton, or on your favorite iHeart social media app.
Happy birthday, Corey!
Oh, yeah. Special day, man. 37 never felt man. It just feels, man.
My back is broken. So
Spinal. Everything, man. I'm just like, I think the craziest thing is just thinking about the number. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, totally. 20 years ago, I got my license.
These are the first, for the next 2 weeks, we're the same age.
Yes.
That's so cool.
You're no longer an elder.
No.
Man, what a week, though.
Oh, man.
To start off
Yeah.
the birthday week.
Yeah.
My God. Should we recap it now?
We should.
All right. Swing it and ding it.
Yeah.
Legacy at Hillcrest? Woodcrest.
Yes.
Woodcrest. Woodcrest. Awesome course. I'm sure you guys heard it on the Daily Ticket. We all shot awful.
Yeah.
But what I was saying halfway through the round, Brace was dealing with his neck. He hasn't swung the clubs in like 2 months.
Yeah.
I haven't swung the clubs in 2 months, and neither
Right.
of you.
No, yeah.
So Kruk was the only one that was actually playing golf.
He said like 3 days a week, right? Or he used to, and
He
now.
said he used to play 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That's the life right there.
I don't, that one drive, man, you heard the ball sizzle off it. He still got it. He could torque it.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Nobody else.
He's
Barely walk.
I know.
So
I felt bad for him.
Um,
He's talking about his double hernia surgery. He's
yeah.
that's
still getting
that,
out there,
but
man.
that's how you know he left it all on the field, man.
Right,
I mean,
of
when you're getting
course.
repaired years after you were done playing, that's
So when I was talking to people about the fact that there was a really good chance we were going to hang out with them for the day, they all kept talking about Randy Johnson. And he brought it up, but not in the way we expected him to bring it up. I brought up the Aaron Judge injury. And like, does he remember like any toe issues or anything like that when he played being an issue? Because it's such a bizarre, granted, now this is a rare situation where the dude literally ran in through a wall.
And they even
right?
said when it happened,
Right.
like when they're asking about timetables and timeline and all that, they're like, we've never dealt with this type of injury.
But he shared with the fact that the trainers thought that John Kruk dislocated his toe or one of his toes, and because it was the other way, so they realigned it only to figure out it was a break, and then they taped it up and made him play in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And he went one at bat. He was supposed to go one at bat, and the manager was going to take him out. Well, they got through that at bat, and they're like, "Yeah, you're going to give us one more." And he's like, "What? That wasn't a part of the game plan." Like he was like pissed.
Yeah.
And he gets a second at bat, and then he goes out. He's like, "All right, I'm done now." Right? He's like, "You're going out there again." Third time, it's Randy Johnson. So he's got a broken toe facing Randy Johnson, and the dude's throwing smoke. So, those expressions are priceless. I think everybody, when you think John Kruk, you think that moment. So it was kind of cool getting that from him, but a different perspective of the entire sequence.
He had great stories, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What did you ask him? What's the difference?
What did your era do that was frowned upon because we talked about the bat flip, and he's like, you weren't doing that if you were facing Nolan Ryan, and I would even take it a step further, a guy like Pedro Martinez. I was like, that's this new era of baseball. What was something your era did that the older guys didn't like?
He said
steroids without missing a beat, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing.
Without missing an absolute beat, he said steroids, and then that we went down the rabbit hole of that, and some of our past guests, and future guests that are gonna have that. So it was just awesome time. I'm not blaming anybody for my poor performance, but it's kind of hard when Boss Man for a week and a half is on the air every day going, I got a cough with Mike Powers. So to say that man's in my head, he's forever in my head. I'm 0 for 2 now when I'm in a foursome with Brace.
I saw you ordered some pizza. How was the Wawa pizza? Honest opinion.
2.5 out of 5. And I would say if you were it's like Costco pizza. If you're outside of the realm of good pizza, I'm sure it's gonna sell well.
Well, to me, good pizza, it's not
Right.
Pizza Hut or Domino's. It's like an actual mom and pop pizza place.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like,
would you order Wawa
never
over Domino's?
Not in
over,
the,
but I'm saying only things open is Wawa, Domino's. Which would you choose?
I feel like probably Wawa, and here's why. Because I could then also get other stuff, right? So you could get a classic.
That's
hoagie.
it. No, they
Yeah.
only have the pizza ovens open. You can't get a hoagie. Strictly pizza. I can't say that though because you can
No.
order wings and stuff from Domino's now, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Like, and they have their own sandwiches. So I was like kind of thinking that way.
All right.
I
that's
can't
fair.
answer that yet
That's fair.
because
I
it
kept
needs
thinking
another
Domino's
round.
just
It needs
had-
another round because like Domino's for me is like one Papa John's stuffed crust is really good right now. So
Papa
that's
John's stuffed crust.
yeah.
I thought stuffed crust was
Was
like
Pizza Hut. They
copyrighted
stole-
to pizza.
No, I guess that just like Mickey
Trademarked, I
Mouse.
guess I
Yeah,
should say.
or what is it, Winnie the Pooh? They made that murderous Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like now stuffed crust you could just use. Or
I
they
mean, it's
found-
just cheese. Anybody can put cheese
Yeah,
in
that's
anything. It's a
exactly-
free country.
It is.
You can't
yeah.
put cheese in whatever you want, then I don't want to live here. Guys, definitely, if you missed this year's Swinging and Dinging event, get your foursomes in early. It's a great time. Awesome giveaways. There was like
Right.
pretty much a contest. It was hard to keep up. There's a contest at every hole.
It was
Not that we came close to winning any of them,
Right,
but
right.
there was a contest almost at every hole.
No.
They got a guy rolling cigar. I actually knew the guy rolling cigars
Yeah.
when I walked up.
That's
It's a
awesome.
veteran-owned company, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And just your drinks and food, great. It's just
Dude.
good people, good time.
Yeah.
Next year, we gotta bring some more stars with us next time.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta rematch with Kruk, and we'll bring somebody else.
we talked to Jeff, and he's like, "Well, knowing you guys, like, we could probably have a Homerun Derby before the actual outing." I
Well,
was like, "Yeah, I'll reach out to."
I mean,
our
if he
team."
wants us to set it up,
But,
we
yeah.
can set it up.
Yeah. So
Imagine if we walked in with A-Rod. He golfs.
he does.
According to A-Rod, he golfs pretty well.
Oh man, I missed it.
Oh God,
Yeah, I can't find it right now. It's
but
fine.
not really, Corey.
Yeah, there.
No,
You go.
I was just happy to get out, man. Just get out and have a good time. Let's go quick recap of how bad everybody's doing, except for, and we'll start with you, Philly. You're 10 and a half games out of first,
Yeah.
but you're in second place in the NL.
right.
Unlike
Marlins
the Mets,
have fallen off like we
they have.
anticipated.
And taking 3 out of 4 from a beat up San Diego team was good.
Mm-hmm.
Though that was a matchup that could have gone either way. I'll make the argument that San Diego's not as bad on paper as their record shows.
Right.
And then Milwaukee's a tough team. So what do you drop 2 out of 3 to the Brewers?
Yeah.
Which also not terrible. And you have winnable games coming up. You have an abysmal Pirates team
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah. They got the Pirates, but then they come home to face Baltimore.
That's gonna be
a
tough.
problem. That's a
Yes.
problem.
With the way Baltimore is playing right
Right.
now. The Yankees know, just from watching an abysmal Yankee.
You want to
team.
talk about a bullpen? That's a bullpen. Baltimore's bullpen is sick. I honestly I can't. I want to get to Baltimore this year, regardless if it's when the Mets are in town or not. I mean, I need that Camden Yards itch. Last time I was there with my buddy Germ, who is always behind the scenes and in front of the camera, outside of the camera, making us look great through everything. But it was my bachelor party that Corey set up.
Oh,
And
that was a
the
great
last
time.
time we were in Baltimore.
That was
Yeah,
a great
so,
time.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing a Baltimore trip in the fall, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah, it
I
would
mean,
be
a little
beautiful.
postseason for Baltimore would be
Yeah.
great. Baltimore is in first, believe it or not, of the AL East. Everybody, don't check your eyesight because we're going by winning percentage here. So there's still
Mhm.
they've played 2 games less than the Rays, but my God, I mean, what a swing! And that's being 8-2 of their last 10. Let's move back over to Philly. Philly's playing good ball right now. It looks like they're starting to pull it together a little bit earlier than they pulled it together this time last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
So are you buying or selling on the Phillies? Is this an anomaly here? Do you think it's going to take the Braves to tank for Philly to take first for the season? Or do you think at this rate, the Phillies are going to make a nice little run and make this Braves team nervous.
They're going to hold firm with a wild card. I think the Braves are almost untouchable. John Kruk kind of said that too.
Wow, he did, but John Kruk's old, so I'm not going to listen to everything he says.
It's a lot of ground to make up, and the Phillies would just have to go unconscious for a month and a half.
The Braves, you mean?
Baseball. Well, yeah, like they would have to get the Phillies would have to play way out of their shoes to even for a month and a half.
Okay.
Because, but with that said, like 10 games in baseball, one way or the other, I'm looking at the Mets situation, and the fan in me, not the baseball realist, the fan in me is like, dude, if we sweep a series, we could, and we get some luck on the other end, you could be like 4.5 out by August, and that's you're still in play.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, there's 7 right now out of a wild card spot. If you could trim three more games in this month and then be within 4 come August 12th, you're still a contender.
Well, and I think, and it's tough, especially when you get to the dog days of summer and you get this late in this, not this late, but you get, into August and you're trying to play game after game after game is your away record. And there's a huge difference with how the Braves perform when they're not at their own stadium and how the Phillies and the Mets perform. And the Mets, you guys are a little bit above 500 at home, which is sad for that, but you're less than 500 away. And the same thing goes for the Phillies. The Phillies, you're just above. You're 26 and 25 away. If you guys can tweak and actually perform the way you should at different ball clubs, you can make a really good ride. So literally the only thing that's separating you from the Braves, Philly, is just how you play when you're not home.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, look, and that makes sense too, because there's still magic in that ballpark from left over from last year.
Absolutely.
Right. And they're comfortable there. They've won some marquee games ever since that ballpark was built there. So it's got a vibe. It definitely does.
Home is where you're expected to win, especially in baseball when your ballpark is tailored towards your team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, football, it doesn't matter where you go. The only thing that changes is the crowd. Hockey, same thing. Basketball, same thing. Baseball, the dimensions are different in every ballpark. So you literally have that home field advantage.
And I'm laughing because they change them every year too, if they want to. It's so funny.
Yeah, you could be like the Mets and add a few more seats. You can, that was like a year or two after they first built the place. This is a little too big.
They keep bringing them back in. Even with the speakeasy they just put in, they reeled it back in a little bit more.
Hey, whatever works, man. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. So you should have that winning record at home. Philly, you should. Clean it up away, make a really good run for the NL East, or at least make it interesting. Put the pressure on a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go over what was dropped this week after the abysmal ratings for the All-Star game. MLB is trying to spice it up, and they said Legends Homerun Derby. I like this move. Love it.
I knew you would.
I love the idea of it.
Right.
But I don't think it would ever come to fruition. I don't see Ken Griffey step. Everybody's like, Ken Griffey. Maybe Ortiz.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, Ortiz got shot last year.
Right.
Or like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, even these legends are, if you said a legend softball game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking Jeter. I'm thinking A-Rod. I'm thinking that next tier that just really retired, like they could get. And one thing is, even a guy like Todd Frazier, he's retired because he can't do it for 162. He could do a home run derby, and also remember the balls are juiced, the bats will be juiced.
Todd's got a spring in his step.
Yeah.
And I see him doing it just because he loves being around the game.
Yeah.
Not saying that he needs to do
a guy
it.
like Cespedes would do it.
Right. But a guy like A-Rod, who's got the commentating job, a guy like Jeter, they're around the game all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
But you take the Cespedes when both of his feet are working, and you take someone like Todd. I mean, bring back some of the guys that have won. If you're going to do legends, I know Griffey won, but Griffey's too old. He's not swinging the bat. I mean, if he does, great. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I was
also thinking, since they can't have the kids in the field anymore, put targets out there.
Did they
officially? So if he hits like a Silverado windshield, he gets like 5 points.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Put some old beat up cars out there.
And you got to keep in mind too, like look at Cliff Floyd. Like some of these athletes are still, their bodies are still in great shape.
I know. I just feel like, and I'm not saying this towards Cliff because Cliff's great, and I don't think there's much ego to him. He's very down to earth. But some of these guys might still have an ego, and it might just be the fact of they might step in and not want to embarrass themselves because it's been that long since they've swung the bat. So I mean, what else is there?
We are live on YouTube right now, and
Hey.
Germ is chiming in with Cespedes would start and quit after 5 swings.
Dude, he would though
well
too.
played,
I mean,
well
this is a
played.
guy that just walked away from the game. Was
Yeah.
like, I'm done. I'm not gonna make the money I want to make. I'm out of here.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, the Mets were just a terrible ball club, like especially towards the end. So I wouldn't be shocked if it got out that they were going to DFA him or they weren't going to play him and all this nonsense. And he was up against some of his rewards, and I think they were going to try to stop him from getting those. So amount of games played, amount of hits, amount of home runs. So, but also, yeah, he quit on the team multiple times. He can't really, and probably one of the reasons why he never got another shot, because they were just like, oh, he's all about himself. So, when I look at this Legends Homerun Derby, I see value, because now you're able to take these legends that you can only tell your kids about, and they could actually see them perform.
Yeah,
you know,
and listen, according to Jason Stark, he said that there's 4 legends that have already said, I'm in. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, because like Griffey's one of them. But when Griffey was asked about it, Griffey was like, "Oh, I could do that." Like, that's, to me, that's not in. Like, that's like not like, "Oh, I'll definitely do that." Like, "Oh, I could do that." Like, come on, get it. You gotta. Anyway, it's Ken Griffey, Pujols, who I think Pujols would do it.
Yeah, he just
without a doubt.
Again, recently retired.
Right.
Yeah,
Pujols would definitely do it.
Of course.
Jim Tomey.
He was just in the last
He
Homerun
was.
Derby.
He
He
was.
beat Schwarber.
I know, but he got winded quick.
Oh yeah.
But Tomey's in it. When did Tomey retire? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
As soon as you say, "Oh,"
Yeah,
come on,
yeah,
what are we
yeah.
doing here?
Uh-huh.
Hey, was 20 years
Maybe,
ago.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
2013 maybe.
Ortiz. Yeah, so Pujols, Tomey, Ortiz, and Ken Griffey are the first 4. I
telling you,
still don't know if that's going to gain a lot of track, unless you're going to replace the actual All-Star game.
It just adds to the week, I would say. Like, you could do it on a Sunday, the real Homerun Derby on Monday, and then Tuesday is the All-Star game. I love it.
Now, what next year the All-Star game is in Texas. So they even hint, how about A-Rod? Why don't you go back to Texas?
Yeah.
Going back to Texas.
Make his return.
It's an okay idea.
I think it's more than okay. I think they're onto something for sure.
I do like what you mean with like targets and stuff. Do stuff the NHL does a bunch of contests because much like every sport, the All-Star game's just unwatchable, and they do stuff with targets and
yeah, they did the
speed and
surfboards
this,
the other day, like last
yeah.
time.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because it was in
remember that.
Miami.
No,
and all
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
It's always like centric to
right.
where they're at.
If they were to do a skills competition, like I don't know,
Texas, they're gonna
fastest arm that's not a
cowboy.
pitcher, or or just accuracy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
put target and have guys stand at a spot and throw.
Oh, that'd be cool too if the legend that was throwing to them was like Al Leiter or like an ex like pitcher.
Well,
know,
but I'm
Randy
talking
Johnson.
about just straight throwing at a target or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Like put those kids back in the outfield and then throw to see who can hit the most kids. Like that's the type of stuff that we're looking at. Is there any update on that kid? All we did was laugh at him last week.
And shout out to Germ for making that post for us. But dude, I watched it like 1,000 times. It cracked me up. You know what else was watched over 20,000 times now throughout all socials?
What?
Me falling.
Oh my God. Guys, and this is a good time to tell you to check out our socials. Divide Live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And don't forget to check out YouTube Live, which we're live on right now for Fox Sports The Gambler and Give Us a Shot Network. It was great because we all had good shots here and there.
Right.
But you had a great shot.
Thanks.
And you checked that you just backed up. I didn't think he got that much on film either.
Well, because Ty's the real one and downplayed the amount he had.
And let me tell you, the amount of footage that Ty basically got a whole bunch of footage for the event with sponsors, with everything. And he makes us look great, better than great. If there was a word, outstanding.
Even when we're falling.
But man, he got, it was good.
No, it was good.
Of course.
I've been bruised. I'm in. Well, my ego's bruised, but my back is killing me.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's been rough.
You know what I noticed after watching that on social media is you held on to your club. You didn't drop your club, man.
Oh wow, I
You
didn't
did a
notice
little
that.
turn, and then like eventually you put it down to pick the sandbox.
I
up,
was
but-
worried because of the non-edited version. Like I put my head down. Like that's like, and it's like that sign of concussion. Like the way I brought my head down. I'll show it to you later. But dude, after that, my head was I was dizzy the entire rest of the.
Oh, you probably
night.
have a concussion.
Thanks.
I mean,
No,
the
yeah.
grass is soft.
Well, now, yeah. I didn't feel that, but the next day it felt like I was punched in my back like 37 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You didn't look like you fell that hard though. It looked like you kind of like
that's what everybody's saying, but I don't know. So my
Spinal.
body was wrong.
spinal.
But
We
thanks, thanks, Doc.
We're gonna go to a quick break. We're gonna check Mike for all the signs and symptoms of a concussion. When we come back,
Oh,
We're-
that's what is that? Being drunk?
no, that's a DUI test. When we come back, guys, we're going to talk Yankees and their abysmal run scoring capabilities. Also, we're going to say it's been about a year of brace yourself segments. So I think it's time that we kind of get one going for this very special Divide Live. We'll be right back. This is Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler. What was that?
So we'll go live in 40 seconds. It's that bonus content everybody loves.
I forgot we were live. I thought they said bonus content.
Shout outs to Matt Fisher for that guitar riff. Go to mattfishermusic.com.
Oh, that was
more.
Maddie?
Yeah, I love that. 8 seconds. All right.
You're listening to The Divide right here on The Gambler.
And welcome back, everybody, to Divide Live on Fox Sports Gambler. I get more and more radio every time.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to Divide Live on Fox Sports Gambler. Philly,
Not really, Corey.
yeah, thank you, A-Rod. I know we don't want that. Let's move over to the city of New York, Philly, and let's talk about everything you love to talk about with the Yankees and how poor they are doing, how badly they are doing.
They're
The
not
Yankees,
poor, but
they're not
yeah,
poor.
They
They're
play
not.
like a poor team.
I tell you, man, they're not making a good showcase if they're trying to bring Ohtani over
No.
at all.
Yeah.
It's
pretty bad.
The same showcase the Texas Rangers did with what's his name?
Right. DeGrom, are you talking? Yeah, that's great.
Excuse me, DeGrom. Yes.
The one exciting news is the Angels owner came out today saying that he will not trade Ohtani to LA. So he will not go to the Dodgers. So if he wants to join the Dodgers, it's going to be after this year.
Why? What's
I
the
don't know.
motivate? Like,
I
just
don't know.
I don't want to.
But people always say stuff like that, and then
Yeah,
that's
money
exactly where they
talks.
go.
Right,
Yeah. So
like-
it's like maybe he's just trying to let you know I'm not giving you a
That's
discount.
exactly what it is. It's like try harder,
Right.
man. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this.
Right.
Well, what is it gonna take? Like dumb.
But so
Dumb.
they instantly, like the same exact article had him in a Yankee uniform. So I don't know, man. I get it. You're a wild card team, the Yankees, right? So does Otani really change? Yeah, it does. I answered my own question, but not having Judge obviously is hurting, right?
Yeah, but it's not the only thing. Everybody's underperforming.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not 149 runs in the last 40 games. It's not a lot of runs.
No, it's very, very low, especially for an offense and a stadium that's built for offense.
Not to mention Judge has been out for about 2 months. We'll just
Yeah,
say
19 home runs.
a little less than, and he still leads the team in 19 home runs.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He still leads the team in RBIs. You can do math quicker than I can. How many games in 2 months are they playing? You're thinking 60 games?
Yeah, maybe that.
Maybe
Yeah.
60, and
Right.
he still leads the team in home runs and RBIs.
And it was the earlier part of the season where you're starting to
Yes.
just get going. Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
what the heck?
That's absolutely nuts.
But Gleyber Torres is leading the team. He's got a wonderful batting average, 263. It's actually not terrible.
Not in this day and age. I mean, but you thought that was going to change. You thought a few guys would be in the 280, 290 because of the shift change.
Right.
You know,
But apparently not.
No.
Apparently still got to make contact
really.
to have any sort of I feel bad for Garrett Cole. He's having a great year. He's got 9 wins on the season. His ERA is at 2.78. He's got 134 strikeouts. He's just he's tearing it up, and the Yankees are not making a good run. They're gonna miss. I'm gonna call it now. They're gonna miss the playoffs. Oh, fun fact, as I go down my little stats, the Gleyber Torres leads the batting average, but he also leads the team in errors for 9.
It's Gleyber Day. Yeah, dude, it's watchability right now with the Yankees is at an all-time low.
Yeah,
And
dude, they're 27th
yeah.
in batting average. They're 5th in home runs. They're 21st in stolen bases. They're just not having a good go at it.
And the one thing I always like, at least pride myself with the Mets, like even when they lost that game in Philadelphia that they shouldn't have lost, it's still fun to watch, right? Right now, the Yankees just feel like that stick, like that dead animal.
Yeah,
that
but you
you're
know what?
poking with
I
a stick.
can't, especially for me being a Yankee fan, I can't decipher whether it's not fun to watch because they're losing. You know what I mean? I can't separate my love for the Yankees and the love to watch baseball.
Yeah.
Because I love to watch baseball.
Fair.
I can watch any game, but when it comes to the Yankees, I can still watch them. And if they lose, I'm like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so I think that's what messes me up a little bit. But you're right. It's even trying to remove myself from that. It's just not good baseball to watch.
Yeah.
It's very boring. It's
like,
predictable.
For example, like the Mets were up 11-3 the other night.
Oh God,
And
yeah,
they almost gave
that
it all
was a
back.
bad night.
11-10, it ends. So like, but watchability, like, hey,
Yeah.
every advertiser loves the Mets. So like, dude, even when you blow somebody out, you bring them back in.
I think
Great
it was
job.
a few years ago. We were talking. It was definitely on the podcast.
Yeah.
You were saying how exhausting it is because you never have the confidence as a Met fan, and now as a Yankee fan,
Yeah.
if you're up 10 runs, you can never. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't do
you
that.
Gotta keep watching.
You can't. I
gotta
remember
keep
you
watching.
saying that, and of course, me being full of myself as a Yankee fan, I'm like, "What do you mean you can't do that, man? You know, if the Yankees are
go
up
to
10
bed.
runs, you just go to bed, and they're still up 10 runs." You're like, "No, you just can't go to bed."
No, never. You can
At
never. Yeah, you can't sleep on the Mets for sure because they will. Did you see what happened last night? It's nuts, man.
So bad.
And it goes both ways too. They, and I really think it started. It started from day one. I can't even say that, but 2000 Mets Yankees. That was annoying because there's 2 games in that World Series where the Mets could have won and should have won if they were a normal ball club. But nope, we're the New York Mets. So of course, Derek Jeter. The rest is history. So I don't want to talk about that anymore. But there is a constant theme brewing throughout this Fox Sports The Gambler.
Brewing.
And it's funny. I'm going to share it. We've been doing this for over a year now. The Brace Yourself shirts came out a year ago. And the funniest part is we made some money. But the reason why we did, I think it's Ohio. I got to look it up. I have the invoice. I'll share it.
Oh, God.
Brace Street in Ohio, the whole guy contacted us and he bought I want to say 17 of these shirts. And they were asking me if I'd remove the Fox Sports The Gambler logo. And I said, absolutely not. And he still bought them. So we made money off of the Brace shirts. And it was cool because then he let me roll that into the Talarita money.
Right.
So that paid for us to get the first batch of Talarita shirts.
Nice.
So it's been awesome, but it's been a year of brace yourselves. It really started our relationship with our boss and him understanding what the divide really was. So I figured we'd bring it back. We haven't done it many in a while, but
no, not at all.
but here it is, and it's got our guy. He's talking about our guy in it, so one of our guys. So we got to start it going.
Oh,
Get him off my TV.
I agree.
He's treated like royalty when he was a cheater.
I get it.
Fox, ESPN, World Series, All-Star Game. This is the guy you want to be the face of the game.
That's not this question.
Bud
You're asking
Selig
me
is
the better
Bud Selig
baseball
dead?
player.
Is Bud Selig dead?
I think
He's rolling in his grave the way we treat A-Rod right now. I hope you're dead, Bud Selig, because I don't want to kill someone.
I hope you're dead, Bud Selig.
He's not dead, is he?
I don't want to kill
I don't
somebody.
think he's dead.
Also, I don't think Brace knows how you kill somebody. You don't just say they're dead.
God, if that was the case, who
Oh
knows
my
what the body
God.
count would be? Yeah, I don't think Bud's dead. Is he dead?
He's not dead. He's not dead. And
I don't remember hearing that.
That was not on the Daily Ticket. It's actually on Philly Debatable, produced by yours truly, created by Germ, who's behind the scenes, did all the graphics and stuff like that. It's an awesome show. John Jansen, Sean Brace, but anybody really from Philly and in that Philly sports world can host it at any given time. So the majority of the beginning shows are Jansen and Brace. There's going to be a few, actually one released today, that have different hosts. But yeah, dude, I'm producing this thing and I'm sitting there, and as soon as they get done, I was like, yo, Bud Selig's not dead.
Not at all.
He couldn't, he had to leave the studio. He was laughing so hard.
So I want to go to their argument here. What was their argument exactly?
So their argument is A-Rod is, for whatever reason, too much on their TVs. They got this ultimate pass of just, being the baseball mind he is, got a second chance in life. Everybody forgets about everything he did bad to the sport and the fact that he cheated. And now he's on our TVs, whether it's ESPN, Fox, every single night.
What?
You want to hear it again?
That's the argument?
Yeah, well, that's the argument. Really, the argument was, the debate part was A-Rod over Jeter. Who would you want to start your team? And Brace was creating the argument that he would want Jeter, not A-Rod.
Strictly for his leadership abilities?
Everything from attributes to leadership to the
to me, you can't. That's like making Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen argument. Like no one's picking Scottie Pippen. Sorry, Scotty. Right. Pick your wife before we pick you. You know what I mean? Like
I would say like Ken Griffey versus Cal Ripken. It's just two different dynamics.
I would throw Jeter in there too. I would just I'd say Griffey, Ripken, or Jeter. Who do you want? I think that's
fair.
More a better
argument
than the A-Rod Jeter. I understand people hating A-Rod. But even before the whole steroid thing came out, they hated him because he was
signing balls with his name on number on it.
He was flashy, and that's one of the things. If you watch the Jeter documentary, that Jeter didn't necessarily like about A-Rod.
It ruined their friendship.
Jeter was a very private guy. Alex was not, and he was dating celebrities doing this. But the people only hate him because it's like baseball players don't do that.
Right.
Dennis Rodman's disappearing in Vegas in the 90s when he's on the Bulls, you know what I mean? And Jordan had to go get him. And no one said a thing. He's wearing, wedding dresses, dating Carmen Electra and just doing what, you know what I mean?
But also it's where you're at. Chicago media didn't tell us all that, right? And
people knew he was in Vegas though.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know. You do that in New York, they roast you. And even if Philadelphia, they allow their athletes a little extra room. But New York media, I feel like it always destroys people. Like Mike Piazza had that situation where, they were questioned his sexuality.
They ran with that one.
Yeah, every situation is always just, New York media tends to kill all-stars.
Kills everything.
It does.
It does. It's not even sports.
It does.
New York media is the worst. The New York Post is the worst. It's so dumb. Yeah. Back to the argument.
Speaking of dumb, Sean Brace.
Yeah, I mean it's just to not like A-Rod because he's a cheater. Do you not like McGuire? Do you not like Barry? Giambi, Gary Sheffield, Jose Canseco? Who else?
But his argument was they're not thrown on his TV every day. So
because
it's
they're not
just-
as polished. He's the most, you know what I mean?
I
And
also
he
think,
is, like you
yeah,
said, you mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
he's a great baseball mind.
he is.
As much as you want to hate him, he knows what he's talking about.
Not really,
You
Corey.
do though. He does.
He does. you're
Now,
right.
here's where I agree with Sean is because I follow A-Rod on socials because he
Yeah.
follows us.
Yes.
So why not?
Yeah.
And I do like A-Rod because I like anybody that's got more money than me and is more handsome than me. But
That's helped
he-
built this network.
he did offer he on his social he offered
A
advice to kids,
a pitching advice.
Basically said if you're like in your teens,
Radar.
you guys shouldn't be competing for the radar. You're gonna kill yourselves. And whereas I agree to that,
He wouldn't have taken his own advice.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think he would.
No.
Because
I was-
what teenager is?
Dude, I had flashbacks of just like even in our high schools, like there was guys on stuff they shouldn't have been on.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like, and that's high school. So we're talking 2003, 2004 high school. There's kids on stuff that they shouldn't be on. You know, so I mean, talking about the radar gun and stuff like that, like I practice what you preach. But I appreciate as an older statesman him telling these kids that.
Yeah.
But
And some of them might listen, some might not.
Yeah, but I fear then they don't get noticed, you know? Like, so it's like, I don't know, man. People are that's what the media wants right now. They want all these kids. They're drafting them out of high school because they get hit 100 on the gun. Like, are you kidding me? Like, even if I never play in the pros, like I could get drafted out of high school and be a millionaire. You know, the kid from Barnegat, I don't know if he's ever going to make it, but he's a millionaire. You
Yeah.
know, 2 years
Well,
ago.
and
he was
that and the
drafted.
fact if you're not drafting out of high school
Yeah.
with the year-round ball that there is, like
Yeah.
A-Rod played football, played
Right,
basketball,
right.
baseball.
No, it's baseball,
There's-
baseball.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
kids are having Tommy John at like 14.
Yeah,
So
it's a rite of
if-
passage.
If exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting them right out of high school, they're not making it
No.
to the pros, or they're getting picked up right before
And
their
that's-
arm rips in half.
And that's when the owners want them because then you don't have to pay them for X amount of years. They have options. You could put them in the minors and stuff like that. If they go to college, like Todd did, they come back and they get drafted then, they're more game ready.
Yeah.
And then you're paying them the minimum and they're getting paid more. So, you know, and that starts, whereas like you could keep a guy down or bring him up and down and develop him yourself. So look, I do agree. I think there's a little too much A-Rod. I do also think A-Rod did fix his image for a while. When Jeter retired, he kind of got to go enjoy himself and figure out what he wanted to do with his life. Now, obviously, he is in the same boat as A-Rod in that booth. But, you know, he tried ownership. He tried just didn't do anything. The Players Tribune he did. But A-Rod had to fix his image throughout all this other stuff. So he was doing podcasts, becoming a businessman, and also J-Lo helped him.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. I was just gonna be like, you know what?
Yeah.
People hated him when he was dating Cameron Diaz, and then
Mhm.
Madonna, and then as soon as he started dating J-Lo, they're like, well,
Yeah.
Jen wouldn't pick a
Right.
bad person like A-Rod, so I guess he's all right. We love J-Lo. Like, name one person that hates J-Lo.
And the one thing I will share with you, the minute he entered that Zoom, if anybody out of the 27 people that we had on there, small businesses, people that were out of jobs because of COVID, people that were working their butts off because of COVID, whether they were nurses, teachers, now having to rely on parents to do their thing. It was an awesome experience. But if maybe say half the room didn't like him before that, after it, they all loved him.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
everybody was glued to the screen in hopes to see J-Lo in the background. All right, we got to take a
Not
quick
really,
break.
Corey.
Yes, really, A-Rod. We'll be right back, guys. Arena football. Some new cities. It's coming back. Some new cities were announced for Arena football. We're going to run through that list amongst others. This is The Divide live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
baseball season normally brings us together, unless you're listening to The Divide. Now, here's Mike and Corey.
And we are back, everybody. All right. Let's wrap this show up on a wonderful
It
Friday.
sounded like you were going to say something else.
No. So, little secret. We pre-recorded this. Oh, you know what I wanted to say last segment? I feel like the few times that we pre-record, because we have something going on, because we're 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock spot.
Yeah.
On Friday. So sometimes we got, like, for example, this time right now, when you guys all hear this, Mike will be at a Yankee game
for your birthday.
For my
pal.
birthday. But every now and then when we pre-record and like whatever we talk about is a maybe ends up coming to fruition on Friday.
Yeah.
What if Bud Selig really does die on Friday?
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. God forbid.
I'm just saying we didn't say he would die. I'm just saying that brace yourself would be so much funnier if that man died.
Mike Powers checking in.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to find it. It said Braze idiot, but it was mine. I was trying to find this one. That's what happened. If that dude, I don't know. It was the funniest in moment as a producer I've ever had. Because I just thank God I'm muted. I was just cracking up and
dude, he's not dead. He's not dead.
So then I'm like, am I gonna mess up the stream if I Google this real quick? And I start Googling. I was like, yo, he's not dead. And I knew he wasn't dead, but
man, because we've been saying for years, and believe it or not, man fraud is the lesser of two evils with Bud. Bud was awful.
Yeah,
Bud was just letting the sport die.
Yeah, and
die with him.
And it was like the All-Star game counts now, right? Wasn't that him? It was
he's the one that changed. Yeah.
And then also a lot of these rules and steroid users aren't allowed in because Bud's still around. So he didn't want him in. They used them. They knew what they were doing, and then it's a huge stain on baseball. But I feel like now some of those guys should be in the Hall of Fame and they won't be because of Bud
it's annoying.
Kicking.
It is, especially because those people that got caught aren't going to be in the Hall of Fame, but everybody was doing it. It's a steroid era.
Everybody's doing it.
And I know we said it last week when we talked about Manfred getting booed at the draft, but it's I don't know any sport that has a commissioner that people like.
Yeah.
David Stern.
Yeah, Stern is close.
But nobody likes Goodell. The fans don't like Goodell.
They don't, but he buys into it. So he
plays a great villain. He just doesn't care.
He just embraces the booze.
Well, because he's a billionaire.
And it's great.
You can hate me.
Yeah.
And even if I'm $1 million richer, I'm not gonna care.
Players seem to like him. Especially the ones being drafted. It's always such a nice, genuine
Goodell you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, he's cutting him a check. You know what I mean? I'd give the man a hug too if he was handing me a jersey, a hat, and giving me $1 million.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I suppose.
Speaking of football, arena football is making a comeback for 2024. Has not been around since 2012. Exactly. For some reason, 12 years went by and someone was like, hey, you know what we need?
Right.
Let's add arena football on top of the XFL, on top of the whatever.
Lacrosse, all these other sports they're not letting build, the Philadelphia Wings. I don't need arena football in my life. I don't know.
I don't know anybody that needs arena football.
Yeah, but there was that one league with Ocho Cinco. He was in there. Remember, in a
lingerie football league?
No.
No, I thought Ocho Cinco played soccer.
No, dude. There was
indoor soccer.
It was the guy that Bob Menery. He tried to create his own football arena league. Yeah. I was like, "Are you gonna announce in it?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, this is lame." But anyway, there's been other versions of arena football for sure, but it sounds like the official arena football league, from what you're saying, is coming back.
Yeah, so the official arena AFL, they call it Arena Football League. It was launched in '87. It ran all the way to 2008. Then there was internal issues. The league ended up canceling the '09 season, tried relaunching in 2010, and then filed for bankruptcy. Yada 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 yada. So, basically, it's coming back.
You ever see the movie or the Broadway show, The Producers? like maybe if you tank a business, you could end up getting money out of it and then just file bankruptcy because that's what they did, right?
Oh yeah, that's what they're.
So-
they're
so
not
you see
losing
that-
any money. You file
so-
bankruptcy and
So
that's
what?
it.
We're on the third version of the
2019, Mike, not
19. I was going to say because
2012.
the Philadelphia Soul,
Yeah,
with
sorry.
Bon Jovi.
2019. These are the most teams. 16 teams were announced.
right?
This is the most teams they're featuring since 2012.
So
That's where I
COVID.
messed up.
Yeah, I got you.
COVID messed it up.
I knew. I had a feeling it was soon. Wasn't as gone as you were.
As that sentence that's about to come out of your mouth.
yeah. I was trying to be nice. It's your birthday, kind of, and I
No.
didn't want to be like, not really, Corey. You're wrong.
Oh, Atlantic City had one? I
Yeah.
didn't even know that.
You
Man,
didn't,
shows
and
how
nobody
much I
ever
pay
went.
attention. No, that's true. All right, let's run through these teams real quick just so you can see if there's anyone coming to your area. Philadelphia, of course, there's one coming to Philadelphia. But here we go. 16 teams. Most AFL has featured since 2012. Here are the markets each team will be in. Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Boise, Idaho. Bakersfield, California. Do you know where Bakersfield, California is?
No.
Chicago, Denver, St. Paul, Minnesota, Lake Charles, LA. Lake Charles, LA. That's a really niche market.
Mhm.
Cincinnati, Orlando. I think that's a good spot for arena
Yeah,
football.
that's
It's
fair.
One of the only cities in Florida, major cities, doesn't have football. Salem, Oregon. Can you
Oh.
imagine? You're like, all right, you played some college ball and
Yeah.
you're not good enough to go to the NFL. And they're like, the Arena Football League wants me. Where are you going? You're going to Salem, Oregon. Philadelphia, you guys got one that's coming back. San Antonio, Tallahassee, Florida, Nashville, Tennessee. It should do well in Nashville. Everett, Washington,
It's the Philly.
and Odessa, Texas.
Did they give you the team name on it or no?
It just says Philadelphia.
Okay.
Is it not going to be the Soul again? Is Bon
I
Jovi
assume
doing
it
this
would
thing?
be. I don't know. But what I do know is like the XFL is on their third version of this. Like you said, AFL has been coming and going. The one thing I will share is like I think they're all trying to get that share of that minor league type contract because the XFL and the NFL are going to partner up and they're going to become like some type of farm system. And then that American Football League or whatever,
Right.
the other one, like I feel like they're going to merge eventually with the XFL and at least have some type of championship at the end where both their two teams play against each other. So like there's no such thing as too much football in my humble opinion. I don't really watch college football, so I enjoyed the XFL, especially the second version of it, because Jay and I would gamble on it.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's really
'cause
where
the
I
overs were
learned.
insane, and
Yeah.
Vegas didn't figure it out for a while.
And even this one, like I was up for the entire XFL season. Now, towards the end, I'm not going to lie, it lost my interest once other sports came to life, whether in NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and then, of course, baseball. I forgot about the XFL to the point where we were at, where were we? The Dine on Us event, the casino thing.
That was March, right?
Yeah. And then I promised Peyton we'd go back over to Seaside. So we went over to Seaside. Oh, no, I was at the Wings and Things grand opening for Island Smoothies. And then we went over there and I was like, oh my God, the XFL's still on? Like, and it was like almost championship week, but baseball was already back.
How late did it run?
It did. It ran late. It was like April, May. So
yeah, no, dude, as soon as you hit April, May, you're talking playoffs for hockey.
And you're also talking
basketball,
warm
like,
weather. So like,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm out. Like, yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. So that's, but dude, it's been a great, show. Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you, bro.
No, of course, man. We had a great week making content. I was glad you made it to the golf outing.
Dude, me too.
It's kind of rough doing these things without you sometimes. So it was cool seeing you. It was also cool seeing Brace's face when, and we'll cut this up, when Jeff told him that you were the fourth person in the foursome. He had no idea.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, do you not listen? Like I've told that man like 37 times. He just does not. Like I'm convinced he puts his headphones on and he's also got a cotton in his ears so he can only just hear himself.
Does not surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, he tells, he's like, I didn't even know you were playing. Can you swing? I'm like, what? Dude, we talk about golf all the time on the show. You never listen to
My
us.
neck is killing me.
And it was, man. He was scared. We were both scared.
Yeah, and I was glad. Honestly, I saw him the next day. I'm seeing you now. Everybody looks like they're in good shape. So
Except for you.
except for me and Wawa Pizza, apparently.
Oh, man, guys, have a good week. Catch us next week. This was The Divide live on Fox Sports The Gambler.